When you hear the name Venice, it's easy to picture gondolas gliding through narrow canals, charming bridges arching over the water, and winding alleys that guide crowds of visitors to the iconic San Marco Square. My first visit to this enchanting city was as a child, traveling with my family. Returning after many years, I came back with fresh perspectives and experiences that I'm excited to share with you. Insights that will help you plan an unforgettable trip of your own. In this video, I guide you through essential facts and travel tips, show you the most important sites, and dive into the fascinating history of Venice, a city whose story is as captivating and dynamic as its canals. There are two main ways to reach this unique city built on small islands, by boat or by train. For our visit, we stayed in Verona and opted for a day trip by train. The journey took us to Venice's mainland train station, where most of the city's residents live. From there, the train gradually made its way across the bridge, offering the first glimpses of the world-famous city rising from the water. As soon as you step out of the train station, the first thing you notice is the absence of familiar city sounds. No cars and bikes are allowed on the island. In Venice, boats of all shapes and sizes are the main mode of transportation. While the iconic gondolas have been used in these canals for over 1,000 years, they're now mostly a symbol of romance and tourism. Locals tend to rely on motorized boats to navigate the city. The exact number of boats in Venice is hard to pin down, but estimates suggest that around 100,000 of them are floating in the canals of the lagoon. The train station is located in the northwest corner of the city, so we begin our journey southward towards some of Venice's most stunning landmarks, including the world-famous San Marco Square. Before making our way there, we decided to wander aimlessly through the narrow pathways. Before long, we found ourselves far from the tourist crowds, surrounded by charming bridges, colorful houses, and tranquil canals. In truth, one of the greatest joys of Venice is simply getting lost. Every turn reveals something unexpected and enchanting, making it an adventure in itself. Later in this video, we'll dive deeper into the rich history of this breathtaking city, so stick around until the end. But what you've probably already heard is that Venice was built on wooden posts in a lagoon. As the city expanded far beyond what its small islands could support, its leaders devised a clever solution, combining wooden piles with rock to create stable foundations for the past and buildings that we see today. This might raise a reasonable question: doesn't wood rot if it's constantly submerged in water? Usually yes, but surprisingly the answer is no. Since the wooden posts remain entirely underwater, the lack of oxygen prevents decay. Over time, the wood undergoes a process known as petrification, becoming even stronger, almost as durable as stone. While Venice welcomes around 5 million tourists each year, its population of approximately 250,000 makes it the 12th largest city in Italy. Interestingly, only about a quarter of those residents live in the historic center, the part of Venice renowned for its canals, bridges, and the iconic San Marco Square. The majority of Venetians reside on the mainland, connected to the historic center by a road and rail bridge that we crossed earlier today. A little nerd fact for trivia lovers: Venice is made up of over 100 small islands, all linked by more than 400 bridges, a true engineering marvel. The most famous one is the Rialto Bridge, which is as popular as it is impressive. Spanning the Grand Canal, this stunning marble bridge has connected Venice's districts since it was completed in 1591. In fact, the Rialto Bridge was once the only way to cross the Grand Canal on foot, making it a vital part of Venetian life for centuries. Today, its arches are lined with small shops selling everything from souvenirs to jewelry, making it a lively spot to explore. One of the lesser-known attractions is the Libreria Acqua, Alta, a bookstore so unique it might just be one of the most beautiful ones I've ever visited. This charming shop offers a mix of modern and historic books, and in the back there's a cute feature, a staircase made entirely of books, providing a lovely vantage point over the canals. However, without a doubt the best about the store is the super chill resident cat. Piazza San Marco with the Basilica di San Marco is often called the heart of Venice, and it's easy to see why. As the city's largest and most famous square, it's surrounded by architectural marvels and buzzing with life. The most important building is the Basilica, and don't worry, we will visit the inside in a second. First, let's walk a few minutes to get to another one of the most famous bridges in Venice, the Bridge of Sighs. It's an impressive structure that connects the Doge's palace to the old prison. Legend has it that prisoners crossing this bridge would sigh at the last glimpse of Venice before being locked away. We return to the Basilica di San Marco, which opens its doors to visitors after 3 p.m, allowing entry for a small fee following a quick backpack check. As the centerpiece of Venice, this basilica is not just an architectural masterpiece, but a symbol of the city's historical and strategic importance. It was originally built in the 11th century to house the relics of St. Mark and reflects Venice's powerful maritime empire. and its unique blend of Eastern and Western influences. Inside, you will be awestruck by the golden mosaics covering over 8,000 square meters, depicting biblical scenes and the life of San Marcos. The famous Pala d'Oro, a glittering golden altarpiece encrusted with precious stones, is one of its most prized treasures. Like no other place in the city, this basilica tells Venice's story. But what actually is the history of this beautiful city that was built on the water? Let's find out. The area that we now know as Venice was originally just a marshland. When Attila the Hun attacked the city on the mainland, the people fled to small islands off the coast, called the Rialto Islands, and defended with all their power. They discovered that they could consolidate their powers and become a city that runs on trade, especially with spices. In the following centuries, Venice became an important naval power, controlling trade routes in the eastern Mediterranean Sea, and its territory stretched all over the eastern Adriatic coasts, including Crete and Cyprus. In wartime Europe, the powerful but small empire had support and protection from the Byzantine Empire, the eastern remnants of the Roman Empire, in return for tax exemption for Byzantine trade through Venice. But slow independence combined with the downfall of the Byzantine Empire led to the Venetians to assist the destruction of Constantinople, today's Istanbul, which increased the wealth of the port city a lot. However, this growth was spurred by the rise of the Ottoman Empire, whose relations with Venice turned sour, and closure to the Red and Black Sea cut Venice off European spice trade. In 1491, Columbus successfully missed India by just under 15,000 kilometers or 9,000 miles. The European trade moved away from the Mediterranean and towards other areas of the world, specifically the Atlantic. Additionally, when Portuguese sailor Vasco da Gama discovered a sea route to actual India in 1498 by going around Africa, Venice's monopoly on land trade to the east was destroyed. That led to Venetians to pivot towards other sources of income, such as the trade of silk, banking, and the creation of ornaments for cathedrals and palaces on the entire continent. Then, just before the year 1800, Venetian independence ended after 1100 years of its existence. When the French army led by Napoleon invaded Italy, he decided to enter Venice and ultimately conquered it by defeating the small Venetian army. After Napoleon's defeat in Waterloo in 1815, the Treaty of Vienna redefined the borders in Europe to create a long-lasting peace, which, as you know, wasn't nearly as long-lasting as everybody had hoped. During this Congress, it was determined that Venice Lombardy be under control of the Austrian Empire. A few decades later, during the Italian Wars of Independence, Venice was finally annexed to modern-day Italy and stayed part of the country ever since. Over 5 million tourists visit the small city every year, and while the small canals can get crowded, you will absolutely love strolling through the small alleys, discovering quiet and unknown bridges. Thank you for watching. This was my final video about my trip to Italy. I hope you enjoyed them. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe to not miss my future uploads. In the meantime, check out some of my other videos. See you next time.